Other interesting business news, a little sad, you actually have Dell. Well, they're having some layoffs as they try to pivot away from their legacy products and go more and more to AI, which just that word AI should boost their stock a little bit. I only partially kid, but it is the biggest thing in IT, bar none. It's the biggest subject matter. Everyone's talking about it. And in some areas, the business is vastly revolutionary. It'll be scary once it takes over. Imagine your McDonald's robot coming after you because you didn't tip it. But I partially jest. But going back to Dell, let's see speaking of their stock, how have they been doing lately? Well, like most stocks, long term, again, not financial advice, they've actually been doing pretty good. And of course, hindsight's 2020. Wish I bought their stock years ago. Now, they've gone back and forth a couple times between going private and public. Now, currently trading, but granted, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, it'll change because that's what the stock market does. For currently trading for $88.22 per share, and increased 186% since their debut. Now, past 5 years, still pretty good, up 125%. Past year, pretty good, 60% increase. Year to date, not so great. Seeing a little bit of drop there. Got 17% or 17.96% growth. And yep, like most tech stocks, especially Dell, they're getting hurt hard this month. Although, actually, it's about the same discount rate as CrowdStrike. Again, not financial advice, but while not priced the same per share, they have both experienced about a 40% drop in the past month, which is a steep discount. Now, which company is more stable long term? I'll let you decide for yourself and make your own investment choices. But personally, again, my own IT company, we resell and install enterprise IT and IT services. What we've seen on our side of the bridge, or I don't know if you're not English, you're local, our side of the branch, because we're in Texas. Well, yeah, Dell sales are decreasing vastly, partially because they're best known for, I think, data center materials such as server storage. Not, and for the drunken people, there's 18 people who do buy their networking gear. I don't know why, but they also have what they're best known for, I think, is PCs. And those sales this year have crawled down to basically nothing. I mean, traditionally speaking, there are a lot of companies they'll have their refresh cycle. So they'll make a purchase of a laptop or a desktop and they have it in the system. So they refresh it every 4, 5, 6, 7 years, what have you, depending on the company's preference for risk. As the older the product gets, they usually have a higher propensity that they'll become more and more unreliable and break, with exceptions of things like products like Glocks. But I, of course, partially digress. With Dell, well, they are getting to AI and they're doing more and more software. And again, just the rumor of that a couple of months ago had Michael Dell being one of the most valuable persons on the planet because of the stock he owned and it caused it to spike. Well, past couple of months, again, very few companies are buying laptops, which, again, Dell makes great laptops. Don't get me wrong. I've used them throughout the years. But to me, and talking also laptops and data center, a lot of that stuff, like servers and storage, I mean, those sale rates are decreasing to very, very, very little. And that's what they're best known for. They're trying to pivot more into AI, of course. Like every company wants to be a software company because hardware, many people perceive it as becoming commoditized, especially servers. They don't not willing to pay a lot for them. So they want to pivot away from that. So again, they dropped 39%. Now, past 5 days, went down 22%. So they're not doing too great. Now, this article actually comes to us thanks to the Austin American Statesman, which is kind of ironic since many of their public policies and political policies are the antithesis of America, but I only partially kid and digress. They say, quote, again, this is from Andrew Salgado, who's a writer over there. They say, quote, Dell announces layoffs pivot to AI innovation as tech industry continues to scramble. There you can see there's actually a short little Google or a video where they highlight how Google also had similar layoffs where they laid off about 12,000 employees in the beginning of, was it 2023? Which again is not too surprising. There you can see one of their logos slapped on the side of a building. Now they say, quote, after years of booming investment in innovation, a tech industry in transition is now seeing massive layoffs seemingly everywhere. The Austin-born tech leader Dell is no exception to this trend. In a memo to employees, Round Rock-based Dell outlined a plan to redistribute its sales and staff to emphasize artificial intelligence innovations in an attempt to position itself to compete in the future. In this redistribution, it seems that Dell has made the decision to downsize its sales staff and some managerial positions, and ultimately its worldwide workforce. Senior executives Bill Chantel and John Byrne wrote in an internal email from Dell saying, quote, we are getting leaner, we are streamlining layers of management and reprioritizing where we invest. Which is a very politically correct, very nice way of saying there's going to be more and more layoffs and your job is no longer needed and it is redundant. And to be fair, in many large businesses, there are some jobs that really don't need to exist, very similar to the bloated US government, where there are some jobs that are just for the sake of having jobs, as ridiculous as that might sound. Now, they say, quote, like many tech companies, layoffs are now new for trend for Dell. In a filing with the SEC, the tech giant reported it had 120,000 global employees as of February 3rd, down from 133,000 employees in February 2023, decrease in nearly 10%. It's also following layoffs, which you have Intel recently announced they were going to lay off about 15,000 employees, correlating to about 15% of their workforce. Um, and it's sad. Hopefully, they're granted in terms of major competitors to Dell. There are, of course, a couple. I mean, literally only a couple when it comes to servers. I mean, realistically, you'll have Hewlett Packard Enterprise, you have Lenovo, and then you'll have a couple people who go out and buy super micro servers, at least for the server part of the data center. And there are a couple competitors, so hopefully these, and again, the top sales reps are always able to be gainfully employed pretty quick, especially if they have a book of business. So hopefully people who are negatively impacted by this layoffs and this kind of trimming the fat from Dell, hopefully they're able to get a new job soon at a competitor, and they'll be doing even better. And it's rough because, again, I mean, some of these folks is many times, and sometimes layoffs are, they're not, sad to say, it's not directly correlated to your role necessarily, or sometimes it's not necessarily your individual performance, it's more the concept of the company. And again, with some of these products, I want to say they sell themselves, but you don't need as much hands-on expertise and hand-holding with the end user to go through the purchasing process. And again, with AI, that's the hottest thing since sliced bread. And we're going to see that it will disrupt and do a lot of magical things for customers. Already seeing it in many areas. But it is rough to see that we have even more tech layoffs. And not to, again, it's political year, it's an election year, so there's already a lot of economic political uncertainty as well. So, I mean, this seems to happen. Of course, it happens every 4 years, but it seems to be even worse, anecdotally speaking. And again, I'm not a small parameter for the economy because my business works exclusively with businesses in mostly Texas. And yeah, most things are going down to a pause. And again, most of Dell's sales, and when you're talking about sales reps over there, they're all assigned to businesses. I mean, when you want a Dell as a consumer, mostly you're going to go on Amazon or Walmart or one of those other major, I would say, kind of just the two-click purchase, so to say, where you're not customizing it as much. So it is rough, but again, hopefully they're able to find some new jobs soon. But not great news, and hopefully things pick up soon for business. But as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.